Principle number 2, delete doubled words. What does doubled words mean? Here, a bit of historical background is offered. In the history of English, writers got into this habit of pairing French or Latin words with English ones. If we know a bit about the history of the English Isles, we know there were French invasion, there were not Norwegian, the Scandinavian invasion. A series of invasions happened in the first and second millennium. So the English language has many a contribution from different people, from different etymological origins. The French conquestors, the so-called Norman conquest, what was the name of that king? William II or William I? I can't remember. But I think he was called William the Conqueror. And then after the conquest, French language became the language of the royal court in England, in the present-day UK. And then, of course, the Latin language is always monopolized by the class of monks, the clerical class. So these languages, French or Latin, there are signs of higher social position, of better taste, of better cultural background. There are signs that people admire. Historically, writers got into that habit of pairing English words with Latin or French words. It's a showing off of cultural taste, perhaps. Okay, but nowadays, pairing these words more often than not is a sign of being repetitious, creating redundancy. Take a look at these examples. Full and complete, true and accurate, hopes and desires, typical. These are all very typical. First and foremost, typical cliche. Nonetheless, we tend to use them over and again. It does not matter, like I said, in daily life, we employ such expressions, such phrases that carry less or little meaning, but in serious writing, academic writing, where precision and concision are pursued, we better avoid them. It is advisable, recommendable to get rid of them once and for all. Various and sundry, typical, basic and fundamental, any and all, such words. Take a photo picture if you want to accumulate vocabularies of redundant expressions. The third principle, the third piece of advice here is to delete what can be inferred, what the readers can easily get the meaning, get a sense of. Now, it has become a little bit more nuanced because such redundancy tends to be less identifiable, less noticeable, because they tend to come not in fixed, commonly widespread accepted terms, but rather they take very individualized, very specific particular forms. Take a look at the example in the boldface. Do not try to predict future events. Predict. What does predict mean? There are synonyms such as foretell. When you predict, you tell the things that will happen, that is going to happen. By definition, of course, these things, these events are in the future. Typical, right? Will completely revolutionize. What does revolutionize mean, guys? What does revolutionize mean? It means to change thoroughly, to get rid of all the existing form and replace them with something new. Revolutionize already implies completedness, of being complete. Past history. Of course, past is redundant because history all happened in the past. They're all past tense. Unexpectedly surprise us. Surprise. What does surprise mean? Surprise implies unexpected things, happenings. How do we revise that sentence? Getting rid of these redundant words is a good choice. Predict the events, because history shows the outcome of minor events surprise us more. Mm-hmm.
The first one, do not try to predict future events. Yeah, so the correction, I thought that for the first sentence, I thought the author was, trying to be kind of like specific, like he was talking about specific in terms of like referring to the future. The reason I'm asking is the second statement does not have the future in it. So like if you say do not try to predict revolutionary events, how do we know where the event could be an event happening now or in the future? So how can we be specific to refer to the future like it was in the first statement?
As long as you use such verbs as predict, foretell, foresee, forecast, these verbs, they all imply the future. Okay. Well, I guess you're asking a different question here, because you see, in the first sentence, the very beginning, the first half of the first sentence, you see, it involves that clause in here. So it complicates things. That will completely revolutionize the society. This clause, restrictive clause, complicates things. In the second one, you see, that clause is gotten rid of, replaced by a simple word, revolutionary events. Revolutionary, that will do the trick. One adjective will do the trick as a sentence. The sentence in the first sentence, clause in the first sentence can do. So that is the clever term for the revision, I guess. The verb predict part, if we talk about future, we just use these verbs without mentioning future. The exact verb, the exact word future at all. There's no need. Good question. Keep on asking questions, everybody. And here are more such examples as redundancy. Terrible tragedy. All tragedies are terrible. Free gift. A gift is always free. Future plans, again. What do you do when you are planning? You are planning the actions to be taken in the future. So on. So true facts, as if there are false facts. Okay?
It's commonly used. It's like a cliché word.
Right. Which one?
The true fact.
The true fact, right. But again, speech makers, politicians, they tend to use the true fact a lot. Yeah. I would imagine Trump, Donald Trump using this word over and over again.
Even final outcome.
The final outcome. The final outcome, of course. The final outcome. The outcome is always a final. Consensus of opinion. Consensus, of course, consensus means same opinion without needing the of opinion part, right? Final outcome. Nonsense. And there is another type of employing redundancy, which is a little bit different than these common redundancies. They are called redundant categories. Take a look. Every word implies its general category. So you can usually cut the word that names it. For example, period of time. Period already implies its category, which means time, right? So get rid of time. During that period, I'm not saying all of you will make such a mistake, but many among you will do this, not for a few times. Perhaps this problem, this mistake will persist in your lifetime. Membrane area. Of course, the membrane is an area of the body. No need to mention area at all. Pink in color, green in color, typical redundant. Pink, of course. What else does pink mean? Of course, it refers to color. Shiny in experience or bright in the look. Redundant category words are employed in here. Changes can be made easily and quickly to such redundancies. Just get rid of them. Well, in this way, we can change a long phrase into one word adverb many a time. Take a look. In an accurate manner. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 words phrase. In an accurate manner. How can we make the change? These 4 words is equal to one word, which is accurately. Must be aligned accurately. This looks at least much shorter, not to mention being more concise. Pay attention, guys. In here, we are as if being untaught of the knowledge about writing when we were in when we were in primary school and secondary schools. In primary and secondary schools, especially for the Chinese students, English teachers encourage students to produce long sentences involving long phrases, involving complex, complicated grammar and advanced vocabulary. These are considered good sentence constructions that will gain you more marks in the exams. But in here, we are in college, when we are in the real field, the practical reality of writing academic writings, we better change all those test exam-oriented instructions. We have to change them, make at least upgrades, if not reversions, in an accurate manner. By the standard of a high school English teacher, this is a good construction. But now, since we're in college in the course of academic writing, no, we'd better combine that 4 words into one. And then we can make these adjective phrases into nouns very easily. Educational system, public recreational activities. These seemingly give the sense of being very formal. Look at the word system. Look at that recreational, public. Seemingly give the sense of being formal, being official, being serious. But when we are dealing about principles for concision, no, they're not good at all. We better change them into the very nouns that properly name the phenomenon, that properly name the subject matter on hand. Educational system, we might as well call them education. And public recreation activities, we just call them public recreation. These shorter, simpler forms will do the job. And here are some more bad examples. Large in size, round in shape, of bright color, at an early time, in a confused state. These can all be revised, made shorter, made more concise. How do we do it? How do we do this? For example, large in size, what do? Large will do. In size, redundant. Round in shape, similarly, in shape, redundant. Honest in character, of course, in character, is redundant. Unusual in nature, of a strange type. How do we make changes? We keep strange and give up the rest, right? Area of mathematics. How do we make changes? We keep mathematics. Keep mathematics. Of bright color. Keep what? Keep bright. At an early time. Keep early. In a confused state. Confused? Well, I prefer in confusion. In confusion. Okay? Confused state is confusion, right? Okay. General implication. Here are some more different kinds of being wordiness, of being redundant. But this type of redundancy, wordiness, is even harder to spot, is even harder to discover. Take a look at this example. Imagine someone trying to learn the rules for playing the game of chess. At first sight, we cannot call it a well-organized, well-written, expertly written. No, at a glance, it's all right, it's acceptable, right? If we take longer and deeper look, we'll find learn implies try, and rules implies playing the game. Chess is the game. Somehow, the same concept or the same category of concept are repeated, not by direct expression, direct, straightforward quotation or construction, but rather they are, the word is here, diffuse. They're spread out in such a manner that we discover them with more difficulty. We should spend more time and effort in order to observe redundancy. So what do we normally do with such a sentence?
Imagine someone.
Imagine, right? Imagine learning. Imagine learning the rule of chess. Now take a look at this sentence and take a look at the previous one. Imagine someone learning the rules of chess. Learning the rule of chess. It's always someone, right? It cannot be something learning the rule. Although we can say nowadays, the AI is trying to learn the rule of chess. Now, but again, we can give the AI personality nowadays. Artificial intelligence, the intelligent part is always being human. AI is trying to mimic human intelligence. So it's safe nowadays we can that we can confer humanity, part of humanity to machine. So normally speaking, more generally speaking, the someone always implies a humanly existence. Learning the rules of chess, learn the rules for playing the game of chess. Redundant already. The rules of chess already implying playing the game of chess. Go ahead.
I'm just a little confused. Like, imagine learning the rules of chess, and imagine someone learning the rules of chess. Does the two sentences not have different meaning based on the context it's used? Like, in my opinion, I think the first one kind of sounds like a statement referring to a person. Like, imagine someone, like, let's say we're having a conversation, and I say, imagine someone learning the rules of chess. And then we're also having a conversation, and I say, imagine learning the rules of chess. So maybe I'm trying to tell you to imagine learning, like you imagine yourself learning the rules of chess, and imagine someone learning the rules of chess. So my question is, can the summary be inserted in the sentence, or it still means the same thing?
Here you are applying the rule. That law we mentioned 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
That rule, that principle is about the information flow.
Okay.
The flow of information you are suggesting in the previous sentence.
Okay.
Perhaps the previous sentence ends with someone, with a person, or with some people. Okay, so this sentence, imagine that someone. You are referring back to the previous sentence in order to create that information flow. Understandable, of course. That's why we're calling them not strict rules, not like physical laws. Okay, feel free to break any principles we are talking about here. Okay, you make sense. Okay, number 4, principle number 4, replace a phrase with a word. Well, yeah, at least you're making things shorter, right? A phrase is composed by at least more than 2 words, right? A word is a word, one word. So take a look at this example. Many a time, this kind of redundancy is difficult to repair, to fix, because again, it demands larger vocabulary. You need more. Sometimes it's a noun, sometimes it's verbs, adjectives that are at your command in order to replace the lengthier expressions with the simpler expressions. As you carefully read what you have written to improve wording and catch errors of spelling and punctuation, the thing to do before anything else is to see whether you could use sequences of subjects and verbs instead of the same ideas expressed. Lengthy, right? Although we cannot tell exactly what words can be replaced, at the first sight we cannot tell, but we have that feel about this sentence being too lengthy, too wordy. Take a look at the revision. Take a look at the revision. One word, verb added replaces almost 20 words. What does edit mean? Basically, when you are editing, you are doing such a job. You're trying to read and then improve what have been written previously, right? During the process of which you are correcting grammatical, vocabulary, and punctuational mistakes. Replace nominalization with clauses. What does nominalization mean? Nominalization. To use subject word instead of the same idea expressed in nouns. This is nominalization. Well, I'm not saying the first sentence is badly written. Think of it another way. Perhaps this sentence is written for people, for lay people without much grammatical knowledge, syntactical knowledge, or editing knowledge. They have no idea of what such a big word as nominalization means. It really depends. The second sentence, of course, is more concise, but it employs a technical term which may be beyond the scope of vocabulary of laymen. Okay? So again, it's always weighing and judging the advantages and disadvantages of your construction of a particular sentence.